Hello viewers, welcome you all back to our channel. And first of all, I would like to thank all the viewers for all your support to make us reach 100 videos. So this is our 100th video. I always wanted to make something special for the 100th video, and here comes the AWS DevOps pipeline. And I would expect similar support from all the viewers for future videos as well. Let's jump into the content. Okay, before jumping into content, I would like to thank one of the important person, Malay, my friend, and he helped me a lot to overcome many of the issues in this entire content. So credits to Malay. Now coming to the main architecture. So this is the architecture that we are going to build. We are going to start building a simple Java web application from Eclipse IDE, and then we will be committing this project into CodeCommit. That's a cloud-based version control service. Then from CodeCommit, the code is built using AWS CodeBuild, and the output artifacts are placed in a S3 bucket. From S3 bucket, again the artifacts are picked by AWS CodeDeploy, and it is deployed into EC2 instance. And all these services, CodeCommit, CodeBuild, CodeDeploy, CodePipeline, these services are completely managed by AWS. You don't need to maintain any of their infrastructure on your own. AWS takes care of that. We just need to take care of the infrastructure of this EC2 instance. And then similar to Eclipse IDE, we also have a cloud-based browser IDE, that is Cloud9, which is again given by AWS. So these are some of the developer tools. And finally, you have CodePipeline. I missed to explain CodePipeline. CodePipeline is used to automate the entire deployment process right from your code repository. So I will be showing that at the end once we are done with all the other services. So this is what we are going to have for today's video. And coming back to the steps, we are going to start by creating a IAM user with programmatic access and Git credentials, and then all the other steps will be following up from there. So see you all in the main content. Okay, so we are into the first section of this video, and as part of this section we are going to create a new IAM user. I am in my AWS management console and I am in the IAM service. Let's click on add users. Username, I already have some username in my mind, so I am going to enter the same username. Let me get the programmatic access, and also I am going to create a password for AWS management console. I am not going to use root account for my development purpose. Password, so let me use this password. You might be thinking that I am showing my username and password in this tutorial. I am going to delete this username and password straight away after this recording. So I am going to give for this session, I am going to give the administrator access for this user, and then I am going to add a resource name like developer2. Alright, so let me review this, and I am going to save this user. And once I save the user, I will be given with the access key ID and secret access key. Just copy them. These two are important, very important. And this secret access key, once you move out of this page, you will not be able to see the secret access key. So it is highly important to save them whenever you are given with this secret access key. So just close this. Now your new user is created. I am also going to generate one more credential, that is Git credential, which is required for us to commit the code. Just go to the user and then generate credentials. So just have the username and password pasted here. Alright, so we are almost ready with everything to start our tutorial. Now I am opening a new private window, and I am going to launch AWS management console here. Okay, I'm going to log in as IAM user this time, and my account ID, I can take my account ID from my root account itself. Just go to root account. Here you can find the account ID. Click on next, then IAM user. Here I have, and password, you can use this password. Yes. Alright, so now we are logging into our AWS management console for the user. So we are all good to start our tutorial, and in next section we are going to develop the web app from scratch. Okay, in this part of this video we are going to create a new Java web app right from the scratch. So I am creating dynamic web project. Let me name this as my Java demo web app. So it's a small interactive web app where we are going to take a number and we are going to check if that number is even or odd. Just follow the steps. So my project is my Java demo web app. Right, now let's go to SRC main web app, and now I am going to create a small XML called HTML file called index.html file. Right, so this is my index.html file, and I am going to write some small piece of code. Welcome to my home page, and then now we are going to take the input number. So let's do that using a form. Let's align this center, style equal to text, align center. Then we need to add method equal to get, and then action equal to let's give some random name, check even odd. So that's just a random name. Now we are creating the form. Inside form we are going to create a text box with this message, enter input number, and after this text we are going to have the text box, input type equal to text, and then name equal to let's give a name like T. So that's the name I am giving for my text box. So let's close this, and after this we need to have a submit button also. Then comes input type equal to submit, and then value equal to value, it's the display value, check. Right, so we are ready with the form, and we have a header message also. Perfect. Now we need to make few changes to this, which I will show you. Go to this web.xml file, just remove all these things. Now I am going to add a servlet for this project, and this servlet is going to receive the input value from this form, and it's going to check if the number is even or odd. Let's add the servlet. Okay, then package name. Okay, before we add servlet, it would be better if we convert this project into a Maven project. Let me convert this to a Maven project. So let me give a name as com group id artifact id my Java demo app. So this is my artifact id, and here I can give any name, check even or. Okay, so now this project is actually converted into a Maven project, and now let's create the servlet. So servlet, we can just call it as com.myjava demo app. Let's have that as package name, and then class name check even or odd. So we don't need do post. Then let's close this. So now a servlet is also created. Okay, so we have created the servlet. Now we start writing the respective coding. So we have to take the input argument from the text box, and we have to check if that is even or odd. So let's start writing the code for that. Okay, so we have to add the inherit the classes, right? Response dot set content type, so it can be text or HTML. In this case we are going to give the HTML output. Then we can start writing the logic inside the try block. Response dot get writer. Let's take the input value, input integer dot %, and here we have to pick the actual text box value. So it should be request dot get parameter and this should be parameter of, it should be the name of that text box. Let me check what name I have given for the text box. I have named this text box as T, so it is parameter of T, right? So now you're done up to this. Now let's start checking the number. If input zero, then pw dot println, and let's type the output, okay, as an XML h2 input number is input number plus is even number, and let's add the else block as well. Else should be okay. Here I have to close the h2. Okay, so we are done with the else block also. Now let's write the catch. Exception E, print ln E dot to string. So we have done with catch also, and we are going to add one finally block. So finally, in finally block, we are just going to add the link for the home page. Let's add println. Now we are adding so let me add this as this in italics. Now I'm going to add index.html, and the value is going to be click here to go back to home page. Okay, so let's print this in the middle. Okay, I have to add this. So we are almost good to do it. Okay, so we are done with the servlet coding. Now we are going to make changes in the web.xml. So by default it generates this block when we create the servlet. Let's not just depend on this. Sometimes this doesn't work, this mapping doesn't work. So I'm going to comment this section completely, and I'm going to rewrite this section right from scratch. So this is how it goes on. Okay, so let's start servlet, and so we need to write the servlet name first. So servlet name we can give anything. So here I'm just copying this name, check even or odd. I'm just giving the same name here, and servlet class should be, let's select the servlet class should be this class, and it should follow with the package name com.my Java demo app check even or odd. Check even or odd. So that's my servlet class. Now I'm going to give the servlet mapping as well. Let me give something like this. Okay, sorry, we are already inside the servlet. It should be just the servlet mapping. Right, so inside servlet mapping we need to give the servlet name again. Name is going to be the same name that we have used here. Just give the mapping here, and then we are going to give the mapping URL pattern, and this URL pattern should be same as whatever we have used here, followed by the hash, slash. So here we have used check even odd. Copy this, and then let's place it here. That's it. So we are done with the mapping. Let me just clean and build the project once. Let me close other projects which I don't need. So we have a index .html file, and from this index.html file, whenever the submit button is pressed, I am calling this servlet. So this servlet takes the number and then it displays the output if that number is even number or odd number. Okay, so we are also done with the mapping. Let's try to run this on the server. Right click, run on server. Okay, so I'm getting this error message now. So it's time for us to debug this. Okay, so I have done some debugging in the background and I have modified few things. So the first thing I have modified was in web.xml. I was not giving this name correct. Actually, I have copied this name straight away from here. When I have copied this, I have copied along with the double quotes as well. So I have removed that value, and then again so one more change I have made was in pom.xml. I have added this dependency, Jakarta servlet dependency, because unless we have the servlet dependency, we will not be able to Maven clean and install the project. These are the two changes that I have made in the background. So apart from that, no major other changes. And let me run this project for you. Run as okay. So let me run on. So here we go. Let me type some number 5 and let me check this. Input number 5 is odd number, and then once I click here, it takes me back to the old page. So my application perfectly works now in my local environment. So let me quickly Maven clean and install this once. And also you need to notice that as part of this Maven clean, it generates the var file. This var file is again going to be the package that will be placed in your EC2 server. So here we get the var file, and inside var file you will be having the index.xml, HTML and other respective classes. So I hope it is clear so far. Now let us take it to the next level. Now we should start committing this code to the repository. So we'll see that how to do this. Okay, so now I am in my AWS console. Let me type CodeCommit. So I have typed CodeCommit. That takes me to this service. Now I am going to create a repository. My repository is going to be my Java demo app. Let me name it as repo to know that it's my repository, and let me add a tag as resource my Java demo repository. Okay, so I am adding this and I have created one repository. Okay, let me go to this. So this is my new repository, my Java demo app repo, and now I am going to do one thing. Just I am going to clone this, or I am just going to copy the URL of this repository. Just copy this HTTPS URL, click on that, and that copies your. Okay, now let's go back to our notepad file. Let us paste this. Let's have we need this. Now I'm going to commit the code from my local workbench to the remote repository. So I'll show you how to do that. For that I'm going to use GitBash. You also have plugins in Eclipse using which you can easily commit or directly commit to CodeCommit, but I am pretty much used to GitBash than CodeCommit. GitBash is more like a shell scripting tool which helps you to commit your code. And so I am in my GitBash now, cd. So I am just navigating to my folder, git parent, and then my Java, it should be demo WebApp. So this is my project folder. So after coming into project folder, the first command I have to run is git init. This initializes, okay, or this makes this makes this folder as a master repository, I mean, or the head version. So now this turned into a local repository. I'm just going to commit all the code, all the files, git add dot and then git commit. You can just give some comment, maybe first commit, right? So actually that's going to commit everything. So now we are almost done with the initial setup. Now the code is committed in my local repository. Now I have to link my local repository to my remote repository. We'll show you how to do that as well. Okay, so the command to add a remote repository, or command to link the remote repository and the local repository, is this git remote add origin. Now before doing this, we need to do one more thing. If you remember, at the beginning of this tutorial we have generated the git credentials. See, normally when you configure your git bash for the first time, okay, when you configure your git bash for the first time, at that time you will be asked to enter the username and password. And when it comes to Windows machines especially, Windows stores the information, and then from there on, for each and every commit, it will not ask you for that information, but it keeps using the information from your it stores your information here. See, if you could see here, it has this URL for US East 1 Amazon AWS, and it says username is my Java developer 1, but now my user is my Java developer 2 and my username is my Java developer 2 at this account number. So I have to change this credentials and just copy this, and then let's go here. Let me paste this, and then password, good. So now I'm good to go ahead and link with the remote repository. Let me close this. I'm not sure if this requires a restart or something for GitBash. Better let me restart this. Let me restart the GitBash to avoid any failures. See, normally when you reside outside, it doesn't show you that master in GitBash cd slash. Okay, I think it's git parent my Java demo. Yes, so now I am in my root folder or the project folder. Now let's go back to this command. So I am going to run this command now. So I am inside my local repository, that's my Java demo web app, and I am going to link this local repository to this remote repository. Done. Now I am going to push the code from local to remote. -u upstream. I hope the command is correct. Origin master. Yes. Okay. Okay, I think I have to set the upstream. Yes. Now perfect. So now it has pushed all my code from local repository to a remote repository. We can verify that. So if we go here and if we click on this repository, here you should be able to see all the code whatever we had in our local. So that shows that my local repository is synced with remote and all my code has been pushed out. So I hope this is clear. So now we are done with the code commit, or we have committed our initial set of code. The next thing that we have to do is we have to build the code. Let's see how to do that. Okay, so now welcome you all to this code build section. Now we are going to build the code that we have committed in the repository, but we have to pass on certain instructions to AWS to build this code. Like we have to tell AWS what all the steps should be, or what all the commands should be executed as part of the build, and what are the output artifacts that should be taken out of the build. See, these are the information that we have to pass on to AWS. But how can we pass on this information? We have to create a file called buildspec.yaml file, buildspec.yaml file on the root directory. So now let's go back to root directory. Okay, this is my older project's buildspec.yaml. Now let's go back here, and now let me create a new buildspec.yaml file. Even the naming should not change. It should not change to even if there is a slight difference with the name or with your file structure, definitely that is going to be a nightmare day for you, because I suffered a lot with the alignment of this YAML file first of all. Right, so just copy this content straight away from website. I mean, this is from Amazon website, so I have copied this initial content. I'll tell you what we are going to do. So actually we are going to do Maven install, or even package should be fine. See, we just need the package. We don't even need to install using Maven. Package is fine. Now echo nothing to do in the pre-build phase. Yes, we don't have anything to do in the pre-build, and as part of the build we are going to create the package, and that creates the var file inside the target folder. Now we have to bring all the information back to the root folder. So I'll show you how to do that. And this section, okay, all the commands, okay, they are just purely nothing but the Linux commands. So we can do something. Okay, so what you can see is it creates a var file in the name of my Java demo app. Okay, that's my var file name. Okay, I'm just referring my previous project content also. It falls under this content, and I'm going to move this to a simple var file, something like this, my Java demo app.var. Perfect. And now I'm going to store this file. Okay, so okay, sorry, it should be my Java demo app.var. .var file. Right, see this, now it all looks pretty easy. Now we will complicate this slowly and steadily. So now we have created the build spec YAML file. We just need to commit this as well to the code commit. Let me quickly go back to my GitBash. Let me add all changes, commit, let's say build spec added. So we have just added the build spec. Now yes, one file changed. Let me so I have committed this. I just need to push this -u. I hope this pushes out my, yeah, that has actually pushed my file to remote repository. Let me check this. So far we don't have build spec YAML here. Let me refresh this page. Perfect. So I got my build spec YAML file now. All I have to do is I have to go ahead and start configuring the code build. So just go to code build, create a project. My project is my Java demo app. And okay, my repository is my Java demo app repo, and I'm going to have my build on top of the master, right? And then so which image, Amazon Linux 2. See here I am defining the image or the environment required for my build server. Again, you need to notice that we don't manage any of this. They are all completely managed by Amazon itself. We are just creating, we are just doing, we are just passing the information. Use the build spec file. Yeah, perfect. So by default it looks for the build spec YAML file in the root directory. In case if you store it somewhere else, here you need to pass on that data. Artifacts, yes, we have artifacts, and we are going to save the artifacts in S3 bucket. So let me open S3 bucket. I'm going to create a bucket now. My bucket name is going to be my Java demo app bucket. Perfect. Let me just create this. Okay, here's the challenge. Actually we are just creating the bucket right now. It may not reflect here. I'm just quitting this page again. I'm just going to create the project right from the scratch. my Java demo app build. So source, it is going to be CodeCommit. I am going to use my Java demo app repo, and I am going to build on top of master. All good. Then OS Amazon Linux 2 standard should be 3.0. Yes. Service rules, actually I am sticking with all the service rules that is supplied by Amazon. I can use the existing service rules, but I am not using that, just for the benefit of new users. Artifacts, yes, S3. Now we can my Java demo app bug. So that's my bucket, and let me my Java. Okay, sorry. So that's my bucket name. That's well and good. And then here I need to give some folder name. This is my folder where my output artifacts is going to be placed, and I want my output artifacts as a zip file. I'll tell you the reason why I am putting them all as a zip file. First file in the bucket that will contain your output artifacts. Use. Okay. Yes, we go with the default logs, and I am creating this build project. Now this should initiate the. Okay, so I am going to start the build also for this code. Now let me tail the logs. See, Amazon is going to provision some server in the cloud, and that server is going to be building my code. I have given access for that server to access my CodeCommit repository. Again, they both are inside the Amazon own infrastructure. They are completely managed by Amazon, and we don't need to bother about their server provisioning and all those things. Let's see. It is actually going phase after phase. Now it's running the maven package command. Okay, let's see. Okay, perfect. So I got a success message at the end. My output artifacts are uploaded to my S3 bucket. So let me get back to my S3 bucket, my Java demo app bucket, and here you could see. Okay, I think here I can see a zip file. Let me download this, but this is not the structure I am looking for. We have to make few changes to this output structure. Let me go back to my code build. Actually, we need the zip files to be exported to a folder. Let's go ahead and edit this. Let's edit the output artifact section, because I need some changes in my output artifact only. Okay, so we have already given a name for this file, that is my Java demo app. Same way I am also going to add a value for this path as well, because I want all my output content to be coming inside one single folder. Just copy. I have pasted this value, and let me save. Okay, upload artifacts. Perfect. So we have passed down the instructions, and now let me go ahead and start the build. Let me tail the logs. Let's see how it goes on. Okay, so now the build is completed and you can see the success status at the end of this build. And let's also look into the S3 bucket. This is my S3 bucket, and inside S3 bucket I can see a new folder got added, and I can see the zip file added into my folder. So this is how I want my output to be. I want this output to be inside one more folder. So that's perfect. I got the build successful, and now we are going to look into the deployment part. Let's go to the next section of this video. Now next section of this video is to prepare the server. So we have the build artifact, that is we have the deployable artifact. Now we need to have the platform or the server where we need to deploy that artifact into. So we have the var file, and we need a proper working server with the Tomcat, we need a proper working VM with a Tomcat server on that. So now we are going to prepare our EC2 instance where we are going to deploy this var file. So let's go to EC2 servers. I'm going to launch a new instance, new EC2 instance. Actually they have made this EC2 instance much more easier in the recent days. Okay, I already have an instance running, up and running. I am just going to shut this down for now, since I am not using this. I don't know how I have missed to stop this before. Right, now I am going to launch a new instance. Let's launch it from scratch. My new instance is going to be called as my Java demo web app. Let me name it as IN. Okay, I'm going to use Amazon Linux, and it's going to be 64-bit, no changes. I'm going to use the free tier T2 micro, and I already have this key utility, key pair with me. I'm going to use the same key pair. Then I already have the security group. See, this security group is already equipped with the TCP custom TCP rule that allows 8080 port number. I'll show this in the last section of this video. For now I'm just selecting this wizard. I think this should be fine, more than enough. Let me launch this instance. Now actually we could have done plenty of things as part of the user data, but that's fine. I'm going to show you all these things by using Putty. Let me launch Putty as well. So I'm launching Putty now. Let me have instance that is running. I just have only one instance that's running now. That is the new instance that we have spin up now. I'm going to SSH to this instance, ec2-user at this IP address, and then going back to this authentication, I'm going to select my key. In case if you don't have the key already, I would suggest you to create a new key pair and download the key at the time of instance provisioning. In this case I already had the key pair with me, so I am reusing the same key. Okay, so I have logged into the machine. Let me take the root access. Now from this point I am going to install few applications or softwares. I'll show you one after the other. Before that, let's update the OS. So that updates my operating system. Once this is completed, we can go for the other updates. Perfect. So the first thing that we need to install is Java. So I have already taken the link For Java, I have already taken the JDK link. In case if you don't know where to pick that, maybe you can type Apache Java. Okay, sorry, that's not Apache Java. Okay, Java JDK download from Oracle page. So that takes you to Java downloads. From here you can just grab the link. In this case, I have grabbed the link of this RPM package. I am going to install this. I am going to install the Java with the help of this RPM package. So let's go ahead. So I have the link already. I am going to do the wget for this link first of all. Wget so that downloads the package. Perfect. Now let us, so here I already have the list of commands that we use as well. Maybe in case if you need, you can also use these commands. Okay, I'm not able to okay, it's perfect. So I have installed Java. The Java installation is in progress. Once Java is installed, then we can go ahead and install Tomcat. And after installing Tomcat, we will install the CodeDeploy agent as well. I'll show you how to do that as well, one after the other. Perfect. So let's check Java minus version. Good. So we got Java up and running in our machine. Now let's go ahead and download Tomcat as well. So for Tomcat also I have taken the tar file from Apache website itself. This is the link of the tar file. In case if you watch this video in future and if there is a new version of Tomcat, then go ahead and fetch that link from the Apache website. But the procedure or commands are going to remain same. Perfect. So the tar file is now downloaded. I am going to expand this tar file. Now the Apache application is also expanded now. Very good. Now before we proceed further, let's remove the tar file and the RPM package now. rm minus r dot tar. So Apache package is removed now. Now let's remove the JDK also. Good. So both the things are now removed. Now I have only the Apache Tomcat alone in my folder. So let me get into the bin folder. So let's go ahead and put ls. Yes, we have the bin folder. Now after getting into bin folder, we have a file called startup.sh. Here we go. So I am going to execute this file startup.sh. Now that has started the Tomcat, and we can now we can also check the status of Tomcat. That can be checked by this command. I don't have the pipe operator with me. So my Apache Tomcat is running at the moment. It's good. Now we can also give a wget to localhost, and we can check what is being written. Connected, and it says okay, so it is actually reaching out to my index.html. Perfect, very good. Now we can copy the public DNS. Okay, so let me go to my instance. Here I have the public DNS IPv4. Just copy this, paste it here, and then paste 8080. That gives you the Apache Tomcat homepage, so which says that your server is now up and running, and you also have the Java installed in it. Now we need to install CodeDeploy agent. So how to get your CodeDeploy agent? That's slightly tricky. I will show you. Instead of giving you the commands, or instead of giving you the commands straight away, I will tell you how to arrive with the commands. CodeDeploy agent installation. So let's go to Amazon document. If you look into the document, so here you'll be given this option. Let's install for Amazon Linux, right? So it's all good up to this point. So we need to arrive with this specific command, this wget command, and here the bucket name is nothing but, the bucket name should be like AWS CodeDeploy US East 2 or 1, whichever region you are using. So currently I am using US East 1. I'm using US East 1, so my bucket name should be AWS CodeDeploy US East 1, and then region identifier would be easily US East 1. Let me copy this. I'm going to arrive with this. Even though I already have the URLs, I will show you how to arrive this URL. Here instead of bucket name, it should be AWS code. Okay, AWS CodeDeploy. Okay, AWS CodeDeploy hyphen US East 1. That's how it is. AWS hyphen CodeDeploy hyphen US East 2 or 1, whatever it is. And then the next one, in the region identifier, it should be US hyphen East hyphen 1. Now I'm going to do a wget. Sorry, before that, let's go back to our home folder. Okay, now I am going to paste this command that gets the file, and then after that I am going to give permission to install this. chmod plus x dot slash install dot is. Okay, let's just install. Now I'm going to run the installation. Just copy this, run the. Okay, what happened? Yes, we have given access to install. Let me rerun this. Okay, perfect. Then let me rerun this as well. user bin environment. Okay, it doesn't contain Ruby. That's the problem. So we have to install Ruby first. Perfect. So we have installed Ruby now. Okay, very good. Now let's try to install the code deploy agent. So now my code deploy agent is also installed. See, nowadays I think AWS is automatically installing the code deploy agent to the EC2 instance at the time of code deploy. I mean, when we initiate the deployment from the code deploy, but still it would be the better option to deploy it on your own. I hope this is fine. So that's it. Our server is completely ready for the deployment, and now we can go ahead and look into the deployment steps in the next section. Okay, so now our environment is ready and we are now good to go ahead for the deployment process. In order to go for the deployment process, the first thing that we need to do is we have to write a file called appspec.yaml. So for the build purpose we used buildspec.yaml, and for deploy purpose we must use appspec.yaml. So this is how a appspec.yaml file looks like, and we call the steps as hooks. So there are plenty of hooks, so you can go through the AWS documentation for understanding all the available hooks. In our case, I am going to use just 2 hooks just to stop and start the server. Even though I have named them as application stop and application start, I am going to just stop and start the server. And here in the files I am going to so it says that use my var file as the source file, and then it should be deployed under Tomcat folder. So that's my requirement. So now let's go ahead and copy this file. Since I have this file ready, I am just going to copy this. I am going to paste the file. Okay, sorry, let me copy this and try to paste here. Okay, so now the file is pasted, so we got our appspec.yaml file as well here. Now let us start and let's commit this code as well. Okay, so let me commit my appspec.yaml appspec. Okay, push minus u origin master. So now that pushes my code to the remote. So yes, so now let's verify this once before we go ahead. Let me close this. Now I am in just for the confirmation purpose, I'm looking into my repository again, my Java demo app. Okay, so I can see my appspec.yaml file here. So now we are good to go ahead for configuring the deployment process. Okay, so now we got our code committed with appspec file. So first thing we have to do is let's start build manually. Let's go to build projects. Let's start a build manually, and then we can start configuring our commit in parallel. Sorry, deploy in parallel. Let me start a build. So let this go in parallel. Meanwhile, let's go to the service code deploy. So whenever you go to the service code deploy, the first thing you have to do is you have to create the application. So my application is my Java demo web app. That's my application, my Java demo web app. let me name it as deploy. And I'm going to use EC2 on-premise. So once the application is created, then we have to create the deployment group. So as part of this deployment group, I'm going to give Java demo WebApp deployment group, and service role. You can so here I have the role already. In case if you don't have the role, you can get your role created. I'm going to use in place deployment. I can't use blue green because I just have only one instance right now. So I'm going to deploy this on EC2. So which instance am I going to deploy? Let me have a look. So my name is going to be, okay, my instance name is going to be my Java demo web app application. Okay, so instance name is, so there we go. So it actually picks the instances based on the tag value. So it's very important to give the unique tag value. Fine. Then install AWS CodeDeploy agent. So actually in this case I think we have installed the CodeDeploy agent on our own, so we don't need to bother much about this. Then all good. So we are going to use all at once. We don't have load balancing, so let me disable this. So I have created my deployment group. Now I am going to create the deployment for the first time. So as part of this deployment, I am going to say where to pick the deployment package from. So my deployment package is present inside my S3 bucket. So here is my S3 bucket. Let me click on this and copy S3 URI. Just go ahead and paste it here. Okay, so here it is. Just name it as, okay, the file type is zip. All good. Now if any one hook fails, should you fail the deployment, or you can go ahead with the next step. So I'm going to just use override the content for this example. I don't need to bother much about this, right? So okay, also we have to check this, don't fail the deployments to an instance if the lifecycle event of the instance fails. So I think all done. Now let me just, before we trigger the deployment, let's check if we are done with the build. So let's see the, okay, let's see when the previous build got successful. Okay, so it is success. I mean, my previous build is also success. We don't have any pending builds. Let me go ahead and trigger deployment. So that starts my deployment. Let's see what happens. You can see the lifecycle events getting added here. Okay, not this, sorry. Just click on this view events. Once you click on this, you should be able to see the events listed here. So it starts executing each and every event one after other. See, if you look into the events, standard set of events, here you can see application stop. So what we did before few minutes back, so for application stop, we have asked this to run this shell script. Okay, I think now this is going to fail, because we have asked the deploy agent to run this shell script, but we have missed to paste this shell script within our code. So yes, this is going to fail for sure. That's a blunder from our side. Let this go, no issues. Meanwhile, let's fix this. So here I have my shell scripts. So this is my shell script. This shell script actually connects to, it takes control over this shell script of our Tomcat server, startup script of our Tomcat server, and then it executes the script. So that's what we are going to do instead. So now, to keep it simple, let me copy this. Let me copy this on whole. Let me paste it here. So all good. Now we got our scripts as well placed here. Now we need to check one more thing here. Let me check this. See my var file. Okay, my output is going to be just my var file. Let me check my sample project. Here we go. So I have to export not just my var file, I have to export my shell script, and also I have to export my appspec.yaml file also. See, now even though I have got my appspec.yaml file committed into the code commit, still it will not reflect in my output artifact. Now I have to mention about my appspec.yaml file in my output artifact. Let me take this forward. So I am going to refer my sample file to write this appspec.yaml. Then I am going to use the names of these three shell scripts. This install dependencies actually doesn't have anything as of now, but I'm just going to use their names. In case when you go for any other prerequisite software installation or something, you can make use of this install dependencies, and you can use that as a file to install your dependencies before deployment. That can be used. So alright, so now let me have a look here. I'm pretty sure we don't need this, but still, to be on safer side, I have added this /. All good. Now we are perfect to go ahead. So let me commit this code. Okay, so that pushes my code. Let me go ahead and trigger the build immediately. Let me trigger the build projects. Now I have to re-trigger the deployment. See, this deployment is actually a painful task, because after build you may find it little more easier than the deployment. Let me have a look into this deployment application once. Ours is my Java demo web app deploy. I'm pretty sure the deploy, see, it's still in progress. Okay, that should get over. Initiating event. Let's do one thing. Let's cancel this deployment, stop this deployment, because this deployment is not going to succeed. See, yeah, okay, anyway, it's failed. It was not shown. Just have a look into this. Code deploy agent was not able to receive the lifecycle event. So it actually looks for the appspec.yaml file, which seems to be missing in the output artifact. Then it was actually looking for the shell scripts also. So everything was missing. Let's stop this deployment. Stop. Let this stop. Let me go back to my build. Let me tail the logs. Okay, so as part of my build, okay, I should have few more files. Let me go to my S3. bucket and verify the output artifact. So here it is. Now see, this is my zip file. I am going to download this zip file and I am going to have a look into this zip file, because that's going to give me the idea what all the on the contents of my output. Okay, let this download. Okay, sorry. Yeah, so the file is open now. Okay, so here we can see appspec YAML file. Okay, still the script seems to be missing. I think I have to get the scripts back into this, so let me check where I have missed it. I have to add few more things in my build spec file. Okay, I'm fine. Let me go back to my workbench. I have missed to add few more things from my build spec YAML file. So let me have a look here what I have did. See, I'm going to add few more things here as I have shown build spec YAML. So we have moved up to the var file. Now I'm also going to move my scripts as well to the root folder. Let me copy this. All good. Now I hope this should be perfect. See, that's the reason I always wanted to show along with the mistakes that we normally do. Okay, build spec git push -u origin. So now again we have pushed the code to remote repository, and now let me go back here and let me trigger the build again. I am going to start the build. Retry build. So my build is started again. Now again I am going to once the build is completed, I am going to download the zip file again, and I am going to look into the contents of zip file. So as part of my output zip file, I should have 4 items, I think 5 items. One is my var file, appspec YAML, install dependencies shell script, and then start server shell script and stop server shell script. All 5 should be there, and among this, for this example, I am not using install dependencies shell script, but I am using all the other 4 files for this particular example. So Maven package is in progress, all completed. So let's wait for the output artifact. Perfect. So output artifact is over. So yes, here I can see. Okay, so it has taken all the 5 files. Perfect. Superb. Found 5 files, and all the 5 files are uploaded to my S3 bucket. So let me go back here. Let me download my zip file again, and let's see what is there inside my zip file. I should find 5 files as part of my zip file. So once that is done, then we are good to start our deployment also. Yeah, perfect. So we are now good to go ahead. So I have my var file, and then I have my appspec YAML. So this appspec YAML is going to give instructions for the source file and also for the hooks. Okay, where I'm going to use stop server and start server shell scripts. So now we are good to go ahead for the deployment. I'm going to retry deployment here. So let us see. Okay, let's go ahead and look into the events. Okay, so let's wait to see the progress. Okay, I have committed a small mistake as part of this. So this is my instance, and if you look into the security, it doesn't possess any IAM role, but we should give access for CodeDeploy servers to this EC2 VM, so that CodeDeploy can access this server and do the deployments on its own. So I'm going to change the IAM role of this server, and then I'm going to retry the deployment. Okay, so now it is fine. Okay, so after a round of debugging, so I got deployment success at the end. So I have committed 2 mistakes as part of this. First one was, as I have mentioned before, I missed to add this IAM role. This IAM role is necessary for CodeDeploy agents to access the EC2 instance and to make the deployment. And second mistake which I have made was in my appspec.yaml file, I have given the wrong var file name. So you can check the var file name even in the build spec.yaml. So whatever the name that you give in the output artifact, that should be given in the appspec.yaml. These are the 2 mistakes I have committed as part of this. I have fixed the mistakes, and now it is perfectly fine. My deployment is success. Now let me copy this and let's do one thing. I'm going to add 8080 at the end. Okay, that has taken me to my Apache Tomcat. Let me also check meanwhile. Let me check if my application is installed now. Okay, so I can see my var file inside this. I hope my application is installed. Okay, so let me add okay, so now we are done with our application. Now we are going to test this. In order to test this application, copy the public DNS of this VM and then paste it here, then add port number / then application name. My application name is my Java demo app. That's my application name, my Java demo app /index.html. Okay, so that's my application which is running in EC2 instance using a Tomcat server. So let's start typing some numbers. Let me type 99 and let's see what comes in the output. Okay, so 99 is odd number. No, it takes me to, now let me click okay, enter 100. 100 is even number. So my application is working perfectly fine. Now we have done we have developed, committed, built and deployed our code into EC2 instance. Now we are going to automate this entire process. Not to automate this, we need to use CodePipeline service. So I am going to create a new pipeline, my Java demo app pipe. So that's my pipeline name. Now what is going to be the source is going to be AWS CodeCommit. So whenever there is a commit, then I have to make trigger the deploy build my Java demo app repository, and my branch is going to be from master. Perfect. So let's not change other defaults. Build is going to be done by AWS CodeBuild. So which project are we going to use? We are going to use my demo app build. That's the one. Then deploy provider. Using CodeDeploy, we are going to use CodeDeploy, and application name is going to be my Java demo WebApp deploy, and this is my deployment group. So alright, so that's it. My pipeline is built. Now I am going to create pipeline. So once I create pipeline, this is going to trigger everything right from the scratch, okay, one after the other. And then let's make some small changes and let's see how CodePipeline helps to automate the deployments. So this is currently in progress. I'll pause the video for a minute and then we will resume. Okay, so now our pipeline is ready. Now I am going to make some small changes to the code and I will show you how this actually works. Let us go to our index.html. I'll show you. Let's add some background color to this page. Style equal to background color. And let's give green color for this. Okay, let's test this in local. Let's test how this works. Let me run this in server and let's see how this works. Okay, some issue with my style background color. Let me refer to my samples. Think style equal to background color. I think all looks good. Okay, so let me test this quickly and let's commit this code to server. Okay, let me select up Tomcat. Now my background color is green, whereas my background color is white in the server. Now let me commit this code to CodeCommit. Git commit. Let me add a comment to this. BG color green, and let me push this to server. Okay, so that pushes my code to server. Now you can see certain things. So see, it says that C4C978 is my master. Now let me go back to my pipeline. You can see my pipeline automatically triggered with new build. So yes, so this is my new source, BG color green, and now my build is automatically started. I didn't do anything to make this build start. So currently this code is being build BG color green. So once this build is completed, then you can see automatically the deployment is also getting started. So this is my application at the moment. My application has background color white. Okay, let's wait for a few seconds. I will pause the video for now. Okay, so my build and deployment is also completed. Now let me go back to my application. So I'm going to refresh this page and let's see what the background color is. Superb. So I didn't trigger any action on my own. I just committed my code and I can see my code is automatically applied with the change that I have recently committed. So that's how CICD pipeline plays an important role. It automatically takes care of the build and deployment through the development lifecycle and reducing the time to production. So that's the use case of CodePipeline. So I hope you understood CodePipeline as well as part of this tutorial. Now we are in final phase of this video, and here I'm going to show you how to use Cloud9 service. And we are going to make changes directly using Cloud9 service instead of making the changes in our Eclipse. Before that, let me go ahead and let me start my instance. It's currently shut down. It's my Java demo site. Okay, so let me start the instance. Right now we are going to launch Cloud9 service. This service provides you IDE like Eclipse directly online. You don't need to you don't need to use your desktop IDEs. Instead, you can go for this online IDE. My Java demo IDE. Let me name this like this, and I need new EC2 instance with T2 micro, and then Amazon Linux 2 should be fine for me. Alright, so let me create the environment. So this takes few minutes. Meanwhile, I will pause the video and I will resume the video once the environment is ready. Okay, the environment is ready now. So this is how it looks once you launch the new environment. Let me close this. Now you can see GitHub symbol here, source control. So here you get two options. One is initialize repository and clone repository. In case if you start writing your projects right from Cloud9, you can go for the initialize repository. Otherwise, you can go for the clone repository. So I opt for the option clone repository. And what needs to be cloned? I have to clone this repository. So just click this clone HTTP and then provide the HTTP URL here. So that clones my entire project here. So it's cloning right now. Let's wait for a minute. It's almost getting ready. So now what we are going to do, we are going to make changes right directly from Cloud9 environment. Okay, sorry, here we are going to make changes directly from the Cloud9 environment, and then we are going to commit the changes, and we are going to see if that is getting built automatically using the pipeline, and if that code is getting deployed in our server. Okay, so let's go here. Okay, here we got the repository cloned completely. Now let me go ahead and make changes to my HTML file. I'm going to make some simple change. Okay, so I have I'm going to make changes to the title, my Java web app, and I'm going to, so the rest of the things should be fine. So now this change needs to be committed to Git. So let's go ahead and let's change our directory to this project directory. Let me check where we are. Okay, so that automatically shows that as master. Now let me go ahead and add git add index. Okay, you can add index.html. I'm going to add everything. Git clone -m added title. So that's my comment. Okay, apologies, that should be git commit. Okay, let me just modify this. git commit, and then okay, let's see if this is automatically saved or not. Okay, I have changed this. Git add. Okay, so here we go. The file was not changed before. Now we are getting this added. Git push -u origin master. Okay, so now it is pushed. Now let's go ahead and see how our pipeline is reacting to this change. So this is my pipeline. So now, okay, there are no executions. Let me refresh this page. Let's see if this, yes, okay, it's started. Source is added title. That's the command that we have entered, and now the build is in progress. So meanwhile, let's go and fetch the public IP of this. Okay, in DNS. Okay, 8080/ my Java WebApp, I guess so. Let me quickly check the naming of this. I mentioned the name in this. My Java demo app. My Java demo app / index.html. Okay, what happened to this? Meanwhile, build is completed. Now let's see if deployment is going on. Okay, deployment is in progress. Meanwhile, I will check what went wrong with this URL. Okay, it came up right. Yes, the title got changed to My Java Web App automatically. Perfect. Now let me modify, make little more changes. Let me change this to pink instead of orange, and let me save the file, and let me add this. Git add, git commit bg pink, and then git push -u origin. So I'm making all the changes directly. See, since I make changes from my Cloud9 environment, the advantage that I gain is I don't need to open Eclipse separately, or I don't need to go for the GitBash. Normally you can also make all the AWS code commits directly from Eclipse itself. That's possible, but still I prefer to do that using GitBash. So I used to have Eclipse open and then GitBash open. Instead, I can make changes directly in Cloud9, and then I can commit them instantly and get them. Okay, so now now the pipeline is started with the new source, and build is in now in progress. Let's keep refreshing this page. So I hope you have enjoyed this entire video. I'm pretty sure this could have been useful for most of you. This is just the tip of the iceberg in DevOps side. We have plenty of other tool sets. We will try to see them in upcoming videos. Okay, let's see if this is over now. Okay, again I need to warn you certain things. CodeBuild is not entirely free service. It provides you some I think it's 50 builds or so is free for a month. So if you exceed 50 builds, they might charge you. So I'm well aware that I'm playing under my free limit. So so you need to be aware of whatever you're doing. Okay, so now deployment is over and my background is changed to pink. So that's about the Cloud9. I hope you have enjoyed this video. Similar way you can also install other softwares in Cloud9, right? Meanwhile, let me close this. So I'm going to close the Cloud9. See, also you can see, notice one more thing. You must be able to see one more EC2 instance added here, and that belongs to Cloud9. This one, AWS Cloud9. So even the environment also runs as a EC2 instance from your own free tier only. So you need to be aware of that. This gets automatically shut down in 30 minutes, and I don't need this right now. I'm going to shut down this, stop instance. Later I will destroy the environment completely, and then so this is my Java web app. So let's enter some number and let's play around. Input number 7 is odd. Okay, perfect. So I hope you enjoyed this video. See, the template is going to be the same, and you can build other logic. So once you learn Java or any other programming language, you can start writing the code on your own, and you can start integrating them using this CI/CD pipeline. So it's going to be pretty straightforward. I hope this video must be useful. Please subscribe to our channel, and this is going to motivate us to make more videos in future. And this is our 100th video. I know this video is a bit lengthy, but I purposefully wanted to make this as a entire content. Thank you so much. Thanks for watching. See you all in next video with some new content. Thank you.